You're watching South Asian Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 31st of July. Amid trade deal talks, US President announces 25% tariff on Indian exports. Pakistan says Indian statement on Pahalgam attackers replete with fabrications. And Bangladesh protests complete 1 year. Family of slain students still awaiting justice. And now for all the details. In an unprecedented turn of events, US President Donald Trump has announced 25% tariff along with penalties on India from August 1st, the self-imposed deadline of reaching a trade deal with Washington. The announcements come at a time when both countries were negotiating a trade agreement described by both sides having fantastic progress. We have a report.
India will ensure the welfare of all stakeholders and take all necessary steps, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said on Thursday, a day after United States President Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on India. Briefing the Parliament on the development, Goyal said that since the initial announcement in April, a 90-day stay had been in place, during which both sides engaged in multiple rounds of trade negotiations. He said the government is examining the implications of the 25% tariff imposed by the US and added that India will take all necessary steps to protect its national interests. India and the US had begun negotiations on a trade agreement aimed at resolving contentious issues, particularly concerning market access for US products into India. While Trump has indicated there is still some room for negotiation, saying the White House continues to engage with India, the 25% figure singles out India more severely than other major trading partners and threatens to unravel months of diplomatic progress. Although India remains one of Washington's largest trade partners, relations have been shaky since Trump's increasing closeness with Islamabad following the India-Pakistan conflict in May, casting a shadow over ongoing trade talks.
The implications of the recent development are being examined by the government. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry is engaged with all stakeholders, including exporters and industry, for taking feedback of their assessment of the situation. The government attaches the utmost importance to protecting and promoting the welfare of our farmers, workers, entrepreneurs, exporters, MSMEs, and all sections of industry. We will take all necessary steps to secure and advance our national interests.
While Washington has yet to finalize a trade agreement with New Delhi, it concluded a tariff deal with Islamabad on Wednesday. In a post on social media, Trump said both countries had reached an agreement and would now work together on developing Pakistan's massive oil reserves. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif also confirmed the deal, thanking Trump for the trade agreement in a social media post. Although Trump did not specify tariff terms, Pakistan's finance ministry said on Thursday that the deal would lead to a reduction of reciprocal tariffs, especially on Pakistani exports to the United States, though it stopped short of revealing exact figures. Pakistan's Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb, who led the final round of talks in Washington, described the agreement as a win-win for both nations. In video remarks, he said, "From our perspective, it was always about going beyond the immediate trade imperative. The whole purpose was, and is, that trade and investment must go hand in hand." Pakistan, designated by Washington as a major non-NATO ally, had faced a potential 29% tariff announced in April, which was later suspended for 90 days to allow negotiations.
And days after India said 3 Pakistan-origin terrorists were involved in the deadly April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack, Islamabad, in a first reaction, has said New Delhi's account of the encounter was replete with fabrications. India's Home Minister Amit Shah told Parliament on Tuesday that the 3 terrorists killed in a gun battle near Srinagar this week were the perpetrators of the Pahalgam attack and that New Delhi had found evidence to back it. Reacting to the remarks, Pakistan's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Shafqat Ali Khan said any claims regarding the Operation Mahadev, the anti-terror operation launched this past weekend, do not hold any significance for Pakistan. The account given by the India's Home Minister is replete with fabrications, leading to serious questions about its credibility, Khan said. He also raised objections over the remarks of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other Indian leaders during the discussions of India's Operation Sindoor and said their comments reflected a dangerous tendency to glorify conflict. We also reiterate our unequivocal rejection of India's statements on establishing a new normal in bilateral relations, Khan said as he threatened of military action in future. Relations between India and Pakistan have nosedived since New Delhi accused Pakistani nationals backed by Islamabad of opening fire in a valley popular with tourist and scenic mountainous regions of Pahalgam before fleeing into the surrounding pine forest. It led New Delhi to target terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, leading to week-long military hostilities in May between the nuclear-armed neighbours. In a major breakthrough this month, as a British court lifted a super injunction that kept secret a covert UK government operation to resettle former Afghan soldiers, the authorities have now decided to resettle them and their families in Blackburn. This follows a major data breach by the UK's Ministry of Defence, which mistakenly emailed the personal details of over 18,700 Afghan applicants, including families and British contacts, to unintended recipients. The confidential data later appeared on Facebook, putting several lives at risk. British Defence Minister John Haley has formally apologised for the breach, which included sensitive details about members of Parliament and senior military officers who backed the resettlement applications, Reuters reported. The Telegraph reported on July 29th that these families fled Afghanistan after the Taliban seized power in 2021. The Ministry of Defence has chosen the Tickle Trout Hotel near Blackburn as the central hub for relocation and support. And an entire year has passed since 17-year-old Farhan Faiyaaz was killed during a brutal crackdown on anti-quota student protest in Bangladesh, yet his family still awaits justice. As Bangladesh marks its first death anniversary, activists have slammed the authorities for dragging their feet on investigations into protest-related killings.
A year has passed, but 17-year-old Farhan Faiyaaz's family in Bangladesh is still awaiting justice. Farhan, their only son, was shot in cold blood during a violent clash between protesters and security forces deployed by the then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's regime in 2024, was one of the 11 people who were killed that day in Dhaka, as thousands armed with sticks and rocks confronted the police in Dhaka, marking the deadliest day of nationwide protests against a controversial government job quota system.
ফারহান নেই এই কথাটা তো আমাদের ভাবতেই খুব কষ্ট লাগে। সারা দিন হয়তো বিভিন্ন কাজে বাইরে থাকি, অফিশিয়াল কাজ বা আনুষঙ্গিক কাজে, যখন ঘরে ফিরি তখন তো এক পর্যায়ে মনে হয় যে এই ফারহান কখন কলিং বেল চাপবে, ঘরে ঢুকবে, এই প্রত্যাশা থাকে, কিন্তু সেই প্রত্যাশাটা তো সবই ঘুরে বালি।
After the brutal incident, Farhan's aunt posted a photo that went viral in no time, leading thousands of students demanding for Sheikh Hasina's resignation. Watching the growing unrest, Hasina's government imposed a nationwide internet blackout, but the protests had already picked up the pace.
সময় হতো যে বড় হতো, ওর বিয়ে হতো, ওর সন্তান হতো। বললাম না যে ও দুনিয়ার কিছু দেখার আগেই তো আল্লাহকে মানে আল্লাহর কাছেও চলে গেল, বাট ও যেভাবে গিয়েছে এভাবে তো যাওয়ার কথা ছিল না।
Since then, the 17-year-old Faiyaaz is remembered as a catalyst for youth-led resistance in Bangladesh. On his first death anniversary, the authorities held a memorial service at a local school. But activists have criticized the slow pace of investigations into protest-related killings, warning that delayed justice risks eroding public trust in the system.
এই মামলাগুলোকে অগ্রাধিকার দেওয়া দরকার ছিল সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে এবং তদন্তকারী সংস্থাগুলো পক্ষ থেকে, এবং এটি যদি মোটামুটি সময়কে বিবেচনা নিয়ে করা হতো তাহলে 6 মাস থেকে 7 মাসের ভিতর আমরা চার্জশিট দাখিল করতে দেখতাম। কিন্তু দুর্ভাগ্যজনক হচ্ছে যে এর এখন পর্যন্ত তদন্ত সম্পন্ন হয়েছে এটা বলা যাচ্ছে না। তো মামলার সময় যখন দীর্ঘায়িত হয়ে যায় তদন্তের সময় যখন দীর্ঘায়িত হয়ে যায় তখন মানুষের ভিতর প্রশ্ন আসে এবং মামলায়ও কিছু দুর্বলতা প্রকাশ পায়।
And in a significant development, Sri Lanka's former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has informed the Supreme Court that he is willing to provide evidence in the Habeas Corpus case on the disappearance of activist Lalith Kumar Weeraraj and Kugan Muruganandan, the Daily Mirror has reported. The two human rights activists, known for their outspoken political work and closely involved with the earlier formation of the Frontline Socialist Party, disappeared in Jaffna in December 2011. Their case has remained unresolved for nearly 14 years with no clear answers or accountability to date. In 2011, the Supreme Court had issued a writ summoning Rajapaksa, who was the Defence Secretary at the time. After years of delays, the court appearance was rescheduled for December 15, 2024. In a recent development on July 7, 2025, the Criminal Investigation Department officially took over the case following an announcement by the Public Security Minister. This week, President Counsel Romesh De Silva, appearing on behalf of Rajapaksa, told the Supreme Court that his client is prepared to testify in the case. However, he requested that the proceedings be moved from Jaffna to a magistrate's court in Colombo due to security concerns. Moving on. India, in collaboration with NASA, launched a first-of-its-kind radar imaging satellite on Wednesday to help in enhancing global monitoring of climate change and natural disasters. The first such collaboration between NASA and ISRO, the NISAR, took off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota in India, creating a milestone in space cooperation and bolstering India's specialty in low-cost and high-impact satellite missions. GSLV F-16, also called the NISAR satellite, costing $1.5 billion, is the world's first radar imaging satellite to use 2 radar frequencies to track minute changes in the Earth's surface, including changes of even a centimeter, the space agencies informed. The NASA-ISRO synthetic aperture radar was placed into a near-polar sun-synchronous orbit approximately 464 miles above Earth and will map the planet every 12 days, providing data to the scientists and disaster response agencies.
But on behalf of NASA, I want to congratulate all of the teams. It has been just an incredible decade culminating in this moment, from the technical collaborations, the cultural understandings, getting to know each other, building that team across continents, across time zones, missing nights, missing weekends with families, holidays. It is truly something that every single person in this room should be proud of. I am so proud.
And that's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Till then, good night.